episode 100. Today, we talk about Lil Tate,
Justin Trudeau and Irving,
Justin Trudeau and fertilizer,
and Nancy Pelosi.
And then you got the good old fun old times, all those racists over there in the Netherlands looking for their rights. Talk about them too.
Oh my gosh,
It
man.
all starts now.
Oh, change it up.
No, I'm just kidding.
Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, everyone. It's so great to have you all on one more 100th time. It's your boy, Josh.
Dalton,
And we're grateful to be back on with you.
for the
again.
100th time.
Woohoo!
That's crazy.
This is our first,
Have I done anything 100 times in this life? I don't think.
No, you don't think so?
Like, drive. What have I done 100 times?
True.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's, I'm excited. I can't believe it.
Dude,
It's been a while. Over 2 years now.
over 2 years.
Celebrated
100
2 years back in
episodes.
mid-June.
And it just like if you could put all episodes on like one straight line, the growth is like incredible.
Yeah, it's we're very it's all due to y'all, and y'all tuning in every week and enjoying our times. And me and Dalton been talking. Dalton's received a lot of love out there in public and IRL.
I know it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
When someone stops me to talk with them, like, why do you care?
Yeah.
But dang.
Yeah, exactly. And we've been learning some stuff about y'all. We've learned that we are a show that touches a lot of different types of people. Doesn't matter what culture, doesn't matter what background you're from, gender, sexual orientation, all those things.
Yeah. The people I've met have just been good people.
There's the commonality right there.
Yeah, they were nice, and they liked our messages. They liked the topics that we decide to talk about, and the general idea of putting things out there that the regular media may not show you, I think also comes across to a lot of these people, that they say, well, I wouldn't have heard about that otherwise, or stuff like that. So I guess we're doing the right thing, which is, nice to hear on the 100th episode that we're not on the wrong track.
Yeah. I think the thing that blows me away is, one thing I learned, I was telling Dalton before the show here, shout out Philip behind the buttons. Here again. Let's go, Philip. 100th, you're here for the 100th. But the one thing when we're all talking for the show is, I found over the course of our time doing this show, obviously there's, businesses where we started, and we'll still kind of branch back to that here and there. Yeah. But we, at times we touch on some touchy subjects, and at times we obviously tread cautiously, but there's times I find that we tread a little overly cautiously, because we're afraid to upset what I've learned is the minority out there. And personally, I'm kind of done doing that. You're going to see a lot more raw Josh moving forward as we move beyond the 100th episode.
Yeah.
And from the feedback we've received from various people, I'm like, okay, I think it's like everyone's kind of starving for like just authenticity, and I want to give that to y'all.
Yeah, 100%. That's a perfect word. Mm-hmm. It's like, because sometimes we're wrong, but we are at least wrong with conviction.
Yeah,
like it's 100% us, and a lot of outlets certainly cannot say the same. So I think people are drawn to that. I think people can just tell innately when we're not fabricating something.
Yeah,
because sometimes I think by getting things wrong and learning, and like sometimes I have to stop and look at my note or think, it's like I haven't practiced this, and I just think that's what it should be. Yeah. So I'm glad that's worked for 100 episodes, and we'll do it for 100 more.
Yeah.
If it's working, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And so speaking of being wrong, we talked, TikTok last week about Trudeau being at the Stampede and how I was like, as much as I do not like the guy, I gotta give him credit. Well, turns out I was wrong about that one. Turns out he did what Trudeau does best, and he got me. Granted, I will say that wasn't a topic last week. I just kind of mentioned it on like kind of passing, so I just saw it in passing, so I didn't actually take much time to look at it.
Yeah.
But those who are in Calgary,
the issue is we made it into a TikTok.
yeah, that's the problem. And we have, obviously listeners out west who are just like, yeah, he was nowhere near the Stampede, y'all. He was 17 kilometers north of where the Stampede action was happening, and he just kind of got together a group of people that who all wanted to listen to him, and it was all Liberal staffers who are all wearing cowboy hats saying, hey, we love JT, and that's how it went.
Wow, just like when he went to meet the First Nations Council, was it?
Yeah.
I can't, I may be wrong. And he was just like down the road doing his own thing, right?
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't even come grace them with his appearance.
Nah, he was just out surfing.
Yeah. He was at his cottage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On brand.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Silly us. We shouldn't have assumed he was at the event.
Yeah. No, of course not. He's like, I'm in Calgary, at a place that is sectioned off by security.
Yeah.
And
nowhere near any of the Conservatives.
Yeah, nowhere near where the people are. And I'm just gonna gather around people that will,
fluff my feathers,
make me feel good,
kiss some babies, make everyone feel special,
make me feel like I'm actually doing something, even though I'm ripping this country apart day by day.
Yeah, especially he wouldn't dare show his face to the majority of Calgary.
His haters.
He's tearing apart that province specifically as a whole. Province.
That was his first one that he went after. That's the first thing he did.
Yeah.
He gutted that province as soon as he got in office.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've had a detest for him for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Now he's just getting around to the rest of the country, and now everyone's getting mad at him. So
it's, you know what? I saw TikTok the other day, and it's like, I guess it comes back to like the things we talk about, which is showing you what the media won't. And because media is pretty much controlled liberally in Canada, you don't see these bad things about Justin Trudeau. Mm-hmm. But I saw TikTok, and it was like, I speak to people who, and this is what this creator said, I'm speaking to people who once would have been very liberal, very left, who are quote unquote waking up. And they're talking about this waking up. And I guess it's happening more rapidly than I thought across the country, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's cool or bad one or the other. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I sent you a TikTok the other day of that woman speaking about waking up regarding the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
And it's this term waking up that I think I'm hearing more and more, which I think is just quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see what will happen when we wake up. Because politics is just so cyclical. Like, maybe conservatism will get us out of what is bad right now, but one day we have to wake up from that again. Mm-hmm. Like, will that turn toxic? Probably. It's politics,
Yeah.
So I think it's just all kind of a cycle.
Yeah. No, and I think what the issue is we'll start in the States and move up here. That's the problem is we're starting to see it here too. I've said it before on the show. Like the states are definitely in a political civil war. It's like whoever has the ring, which is essentially the presidential seat.
Yeah.
They're all fighting over it right now.
Yes.
Even to the point where the Democrats have proven that they can't provide anything of value to their constituents whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to figure out ways to still just take power and just wield it.
Yeah.
And they're doing that already, where they're putting forth a bill to add 4 more justices to the Supreme Court, or judges. And I'm like, so you can't actually win votes. So now you're just trying to figure out ways that you can continue to manipulate the game to get your way. Got it. So
wow.
And then yesterday, I don't know if you saw AOC faking her handcuffing for a photo op. That was interesting. Yeah, she was at like a.
What is so funny is if a conservative had done that, there would be an entire media campaign about how it is not okay to pretend to be arrested if you've never been arrested, or if you've never been in those shoes. No one wants to be arrested. How dare you use that for your performative activism? Yeah. She's the queen of performative activism.
Oh, she loves it.
She's the queen of it. Don't forget her $60 sweaters, dog.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Especially the pictures that came out. I'll even shut this back to when she went to go visit the children at the border, and the cages that she was at. And it turned out the photos were all at an empty parking lot. And like if you zoom, there was actually a photo of her like zoomed out.
There's like a Walmart behind it, right?
I don't know about that, but there was one where there's a photo of her at the fence, but like literally like the fence like ended at the table.
And it was just open.
It was just open. You could walk around.
So it's just like a football field fence.
Yeah,
that ends eventually.
It's all it was.
Oh no!
But it worked. You know, people that love her and follow her, like, oh
Yeah, the
my
picture
gosh.
looks real.
It looks real. It looks rough. She did a great job of acting like
Does
she
no
was
one?
distraught.
Maybe it's me. I trust nothing on the internet.
I can't anymore.
I look into everything.
I mean, hey, I already said this about the freaking stampede, but it also wasn't that deep for me, so I didn't really care.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
was just in passing. That was that was nothing that we really
Cared much
spoke
about.
on too much. But you know what? In the same breath, I'm human. I sometimes get things wrong.
Yeah.
It's only life, you know. But yeah, interesting. I didn't actually know that she got fake handcuffed.
Yeah, no, it was weird.
And what is that in regards to? Is
Okay,
there
so-
something going on regarding jails or
No,
arrests,
she was protesting the Supreme Court over the ruling of Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
And so she was, on the front lines,
Yes.
protesting, showing that she's with the people.
Right.
And then she was, I think they were just trying to clear out the crowd essentially as it happened. And so the cop just kind of held her just by the arm, just kind of escorted her off the premises. And then she just like voluntarily just put her hands behind her back, just started walking. And then like once she realized she got the photo, then a couple more steps she went, put her fist up to the crowd, then put her hand back behind her. You can't make this stuff up, man.
And then it's funny because some people might say, well, when you're near a cop, you're just expected to put your hands behind your back. A cop will always tell you to put your hands behind your back.
Mm-hmm. True. That's fair.
You know, even Dog the Bounty Hunter tells you to put your hands behind your back.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know. I will, as much as like, he's kind of, got bought out by the system, I look at Bernie Sanders back in the 70s. This guy was legitimately manhandled by officials.
Wasn't he actually arrested many times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like during the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
And
he was different back then.
Yeah, very different back then.
Very different.
But like that's actual like laying it on the line versus AOC who just like literally gently like cop literally just gently was like, hey, we'll just get out of here. And she just acting like she's
on her way to a cop car.
Exactly. On their way to jail. And I'm like, bro, you gotta be kidding me. But she's got 14 million followers on Twitter. She knows how to get the people going. Credit to her.
She has 14 million followers as a politician.
Yeah. That shows
That's
it.
a lot of influence.
That's why she's like, so that's what I'm saying. Like she's known how to play the pop culture game.
Yeah,
very
she
well.
has.
Good
for her.
I'll give that to her.
You know what? Whatever you do it right, man.
Mm-hmm.
So she did that.
Yeah, I'll verify, but I'm pretty sure that's what I checked last night. Which is
That's actually iconic.
13.2 million followers, but still.
That's sick.
Yeah. That's
good for her.
Yeah.
That actually is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. But but because it's our 100th episode.
Oh yeah.
And
we have to reminisce on
a little bit. So those, we've kind of talked at various points how me and Dalton first got together and how we became friends. And the one thing we never share with y'all is our first thing we ever bonded over was Lil Tay.
It's right, dude.
Do you remember Lil Tay, Philip?
Oh, I remember, yeah. Unfortunately, I do.
This lamb was more than your mama's rent. Shut up.
That's specifically the clip.
That one got one.
Does that clip still exist on the internet?
100% you can find it. Like,
Oh my
let's
gosh.
go. Philip can go on a treasure hunt for some little.
If you can find it, no, you know what? Great.
Yeah.
Literally just search Lil Tay, shut up.
Yeah. And anyone who remembers Lil Tay, she was just like this little 9-year-old who was flexing the greatest.
Try that one.
That's definitely not it.
That's someone telling her to shut up.
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, he's mad. He is mad at Lil Tay. Oh my gosh.
All right, go for it.
I ain't dumb. I'm going to college. I'm 18 years old. I ain't dumb. I ain't stupid. You're stupid. You got no money. You got fake money. You got no Lamborghini. You got no Lamborghini Aventador. Shut up, Lil Tay. You're a faker, Lil Tay.
Wow, he really told
honestly,
her.
You know what? She deserved that. I will say. But maybe the video does not exist anymore. But
yeah, it was like Lil Tay talking to
Danielle Bergoli.
Danielle Bergoli at the time.
Oh yeah, you're right. When they were fighting with Whoa Vicky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah. So.
But yeah, that something else. I sent you something the other night. She's back, or what did I send you?
I have no idea what you sent me. It was just like, oh no, it was just a random TikTok from like back in the day.
Oh yeah. Right.
Here, just go through the little Braddy's moments. We gotta relive some of these. And these are profanity laced. Just a heads up. Go to like
cover your ears.
Go to like the 30-second mark whenever she gets out of this podcast situation. There you go. Let's go with that one.
Already know what it is. Lil Tate just got a brand new Jaguar. This car cost me $130,000, bitch. Y'all grown-ass man hating on me, but that ain't changing nothing. I still gonna be rich. I'm the youngest flexer of the century, bitch, and I'm only 9 years old.
How many houses do you have?
Like, why was she on a podcast?
Yeah. Yes, seriously.
In her Gucci tracksuit. Did you remember that she was wearing the clothes of her mom's real estate clients?
Yep.
And her mom lost her real estate license.
Yeah, and not just but even like all the houses that she was flexing in
were her clients.
Were her clients' houses.
Oh my gosh.
This is why she fell apart. I'm actually genuinely curious what had happened to her. Like she fell off in a
she
dramatic
posted
way.
One day it was just like she was like, I'm not good. This is not how I want. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Then, what's his face died? X.
Oh yeah, and I forget his name. But yeah,
one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And she posted a picture of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
to think, like the thing that like kind of blows me away is that now she's like 13, 14 years old.
The fact that now she's 14. How she was like 10.
Yeah.
On podcasts, like around rappers.
Yeah.
It's like hanging out with Lil Pump.
She was the youngest flexer of the century, man.
She was the youngest flexer of the century. And all her cars cost more than your mom's rent. Yeah. She had like 4 lines. Yeah. She had 4 lines. Remember the day she threw a cake in the old man's face?
Yeah.
After she like scooted up to him?
Which was her dad.
Yeah.
It was her dad who was scooting by and she's like took the cake and shoved it in his face.
Right. Oh my gosh.
It was like, oh man, there was some great times and
don't mind us. That's what we did at work.
Yeah. Shows how much we had going on. Sorry, Charles.
OMG.
Yeah, good old times with Lil Tay.
Wow.
But
what a throwback.
Some wastewater leaks in the Halifax Harbour. Eh?
Dude, this was crazy because for 2 reasons. One, I thought there was no access into the harbor anymore through any sort of piping system. Mm-hmm. Like I thought when that was done with, there wasn't an ability for it to ever get back into the harbor.
Right.
Didn't know that it could. Because I mean, that's where our sewage used to go like 100%.
Right.
Was into the harbor. And now it's happening again.
Yeah.
And we got a notification through an apartment building that was like, if you can avoid it, please don't flush your toilets or like minimally flush your toilets and use anything that goes to sewage. Like it's bad. And it goes all the way to Larry Utech. It's all on one pump. To Bedford.
All right, let's see what the CTV News
That's
Atlantic
as far
is
as it
saying
goes. So
here.
our apartment's in the mix, but we looked at the camera. It goes all the way to Bedford.
That's a lot, dude. And now we wonder why our infrastructure's all outdated.
It goes all the way to Duffus Street in the north end.
Wow.
That's a long way.
That is a long way. It's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And it's all currently going into the harbor. The overflow, I suppose, I guess. But anyway, yeah. So this is what's going on.
So, yeah, wastewater leaks into Halifax Harbour. Water utility urges against swimming.
Because people like doing that lately.
Yeah, they've been loving that.
They've been loving
those are the TikTok moments in Halifax right now.
in the harbor.
So people in Halifax are being warned to stay out of the Halifax Harbour following a wastewater leak. Halifax Water says the failure of an emergency pump in the wastewater system resulted in screened combined wastewater and stormwater flowing into the harbour. It is strongly advised that residents and visitors should not go swimming or participate in recreational activities that require water contact in Halifax Harbour until further notice. Halifax Water wrote in a release. They note that applicable federal, provincial, and municipal entities are aware of the incident. The utility says crews are planning emergency repairs until a replacement pump is found. Halifax Water is asking residents to maintain a safe distance from crews working on the problem. Wow.
So there's a part up here, if you scroll back up to the top, right here. Resulted in screened combined wastewater and stormwater. And if you go back to the notes, So the screening is the preliminary step that removes larger organic matter.
Wow.
So if it's smaller than the screen, whatever went down your toilet goes into the harbor.
Dang.
So.
So no swimming in the harbor.
Yeah. So however big the screen is, I don't know. But either way, it was steeping on the way down.
Dang, well,
not nice.
I'll be heading to do my polar dip tomorrow morning. Going down the steps,
Do you remember
boys.
when Peter McKay did that?
Oh, was he the one that drank the water?
Not Peter McKay. Peter Kelly?
Peter
Our
Kelly.
mayor.
Yeah.
Didn't he do something with the Halifax Harbour?
Yeah, so this is when he was mayor, right?
Yeah, something,
So
I think.
we were just talking about this at work today. So apparently, he wanted to, they did a lot of fixes to
And he
make
wanted
sure
to prove that it was safe.
he wanted to prove that this water was safe, and he forgot that it was the Atlantic Ocean. So he took a cup of water. He's like, "This is fine." He went to go drink it, and then immediately puked on camera because it was salt water.
Dog. He also looked like the creepy mayor from Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
He was crazy. He was on his one day. He showed up to a birthday party of me and my friends. We were like 13. He drove by. This is an honest to God truth. Gave us candy
Wow.
out of his car.
And he took it, and you took it from him.
What? No, I literally said to him, I was like, my parents said I can't take candy from strangers.
Good.
I was like, no way. I don't care if you're the mayor. Freak. What are you doing around here?
Well, we all know
Around
that.
a playground handing out candy?
Seriously.
Freak.
Especially these days when we see all the politicians, how crazy they really are.
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm good.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the harbor's not safe to drink out of. No. Don't confuse that.
Salt water
Clearly,
aside.
the systems are not that great.
Yeah.
They didn't have an emergency overflow.
No, man.
They said failure to have emergency overflow. You didn't think there would ever be an emergency? Never. You didn't think Halifax, who was designed for massive expansion, would hold up?
No, man.
We keep building, and it's farther and farther out of the city. They never once thought to build a new processing plant. Just connected to the north end.
Yeah.
What?
It all goes the same place, right?
What?
It's all
Are
good.
you kidding?
Hundreds of thousands of people keep coming every year.
Gosh, man. It's
Oh.
crazy.
Woo.
Anyway, don't go in the harbor.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Stop making those freaking TikToks.
I know. I'm really just concerned for your safety.
Because now the content's done, even though friggin' the Way of the Road Boys did that.
But theirs popped off, I think, right? Well, they were one of the first to do it, weren't they?
Well, a handful. But yeah, I mean, he at least was in a floaty with his Tims.
Yeah. You know what? I like them, so they get a pass.
You guys got that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back to Nancy Pelosi. But before we get into this,
Yes.
Nancy Pelosi's ticking off a lot of people politically on an international level.
Really?
Yeah, she's upsetting China these days.
That's a bad move.
Yeah, because she's deciding to go to Taiwan to go pay a visit to some stuff and rile up China. So
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't know. We don't actually have anything to read about it. I just something I saw as I was coming in tonight. And
Interesting.
I was like,
I wonder how welcome her, like how many greetings she may or may not get when she arrives.
yeah, it's very interesting to see how that all goes. And there's people who are, I've seen people comment on various things, and there's like, yeah, she's stand up to authoritarians. I was like, bro,
Bro, you don't stand up to China.
yeah, bro. I mean, you have to, but the thing is, like, she's so in bed with China that
It's so hypocritical.
yeah, I'm like, I'm good. Like, you are a part of the problem of like what's causing the issues in the country.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't really, her visit to Taiwan, I think it's
It's a business meeting.
Yeah, she's purposely inflaming intentions. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, but you had something you want to head on with Pelosi's husband.
Yeah, I saw this on TikTok, and then I managed to find the article on it. There's many. This is just, they're all written the same. But Nancy Pelosi now, obviously we've known she's a huge inside trader. Like, she just somehow always knows what to buy right before there's, good news for that company.
Yeah.
So maybe we were catching on to her too closely. So her husband's doing it now. Because he bought upwards of because his records are not as public as hers, obviously. I mean, he's, not Nancy Pelosi. So it was at least $1 million worth, could be up to $5 million worth of Nvidia, which is the computer chip company. They also, Nvidia makes graphic cards and tons of computer equipment. So he bought the $5 million on a just random day, or so he wanted us to think. But then if you scroll down, where is it at right here? Yeah. The husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi just bought as much as $5 million worth of stock in software and chip company Nvidia, publicly available. So there are financial disclosures that do show the purchases or the trades going through. And where is it at that says it? Right here. The stock purchase comes as the Senate is expected to meet this week to discuss a bipartisan bill to boost semiconductor manufacturing in the country. The bill aims to provide grants, tax credits, and other incentives for companies to manufacture semiconductors in the United States. It's worth noting that Nvidia designs their own chips but hires other companies to manufacture them and likely will not directly receive benefits from this bill. Now, that said, the companies that manufacture them may receive those grants and benefits, right, which would equally do well for Nvidia. Just really great timing to buy $1 million to $5 million worth of Nvidia. I didn't even know they were publicly traded. Like, I hadn't heard much about Nvidia for a long time. And he just out of the blue bought all this.
Dude, I wish I could be a boss like that, man. The planning and he's just so good at timing these things.
Oh my gosh, they're better than Warren Buffett.
Literally, they're an amazing record. I'm trying to figure out what their secret is.
Yeah, what's the secret sauce to trading like that?
I know, man.
They should write a book, Trade Like an Insider.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yo, that's right. I wish I was married to Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Let's go.
She's loaded. Yeah. She's rich.
Real rich. Which is what I find interesting about politicians is how I love how they get richer leaving office than they were going in.
I know. One word that was used, and this was by Pierre Poilievre, which I thought was odd language. He said, "You should not. Your government should not be your master. They should be your servant."
Right.
Just strong. That was just very strong language. Yeah. It caught me off guard. But if you break it down to just linguistically what it says, it's true.
Right.
It is true. And these people are not serving the American public. You cannot look at homelessness like Flint, Michigan, and every other bad thing going on in America and think, yeah, Nancy Pelosi should be a multimillionaire. Yeah. Like hundreds of millions of dollars. She should have that. It's hard to think that. Yeah. It is hard to think that way.
And I'm not gonna lie, like, I get the motivation. Like, if I had like the connections and network that she has, I wouldn't want to be leaving office anytime soon.
No.
Heck no.
No one is questioning her.
No.
She is scot-free.
Because why? Why do you think no one questions her?
Well, because she the one who stood up to Donald Trump, and obviously the Democrats love that about her.
Yeah, she's on the right side. She's on the side that isn't gonna.
She ripped up that piece of paper and she trotted out of the hall, and she was a queen that day.
Yeah.
And so the Democrats the Democrats just let her do what she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
And do I think what she did that day, obviously, like standing up to Donald Trump and everything went down that day, was monumental? Sure. I think it was, huge. I think especially for a woman in politics, that was a big deal. But you don't think it was?
Dude, no.
You don't think it was? No. Really? Why?
Because it was an AOC thing. Like, it was like,
really?
It didn't matter what came out of Trump's mouth. It was all performative. It was because she knew where she was. She knew he was right behind him. The camera was on him. And she just had to put on a show. Like, that's all it was.
Okay.
So I saw right through it.
Okay. But then that's fair. That's actually, I never thought of it like that. So then I take it back. Yeah. Who cares? She's just a Democrat, and that's the right side to be on right now.
Yeah. At least the side that has all the power. So.
Dude. Like, hundreds of millions of dollars she has made off insider trading. Is that not illegal?
That is 100% legal. If it was us, we'd be in prison forever.
Yeah, like if we had a connection to someone at Shopify and he told us buy now, we would be in prison.
100%. Like 100%.
We would be in jail.
Yeah. So man.
Wow, I should get into politics. You just get away with anything.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, look at our prime minister.
Gosh, yeah, wow. We got enough to talk about him tonight. Yeah. Oh my god.
There was one TikTok that came across tonight. I mean, at this point for me, it's a joke that I just think is done, and it's definitely played out. However, the way it was presented in this TikTok, I thought was still funny. It was like a Japanese guy, and something about the TikTok was like, name something that your government has done that is like that's the Japanese government's never done.
It was not blackface.
He's like, it's great. Our prime minister in Canada was able to be a black man, a brown man, and a white man all at once.
Oh no!
I was like,
that joke is played out.
Yo, it's so played out, but like the delivery and who was delivering it made it kind of pretty funny.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know what? I do. At the time, I took that stuff very seriously. I was like, how could he do that? Yeah. And you know what? Every politician's got a past. Every politician's got dirt on them. But the TikTok jokes are freaking funny.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, well, it's like, you know, people come out, it's like, why are you coming so hard on him about that? And it's like, if he took a more humble stance, people would have more grace on him.
Yeah,
but the reality is,
when you come at it combative.
Well, it's not even that. You come out as the king of wokeness.
Oh, that's
when you get wrecked.
That's a great point,
right?
Yeah, because someone like that should not. Right.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, all the stuff, even that, you know, the rumors and stuff that came out of like the hush money he's given to, you know, a girl that he may have assaulted in his younger days.
Right.
Like all that stuff. Like, again, don't know if it's true, but that stuff's been coming out.
Yeah.
It's like the king of wokeness really loves women, and he loves those who are perceived minorities.
Yeah.
He must.
It feels he's allowed to just
do whatever he wants.
To either of them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Wow.
So,
what can you do?
Speaking of the man himself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
so we wanted to clarify with this one.
Yeah.
We ended the show off this last week. We did a bit of a fact check, realized that we were wrong with how at least
I was wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Dalton was wrong in terms of how he explained the premise of what he was saying was true, but how it actually went down was he just wants to clarify that.
Yeah, so the premise of, you know, the political pressure on a private company was accurate. That is true. But rather than buying the boat repair plant, it was getting to sell it. So those are the parts that I had mixed up. But this is actually like the full everything on it. So it's Irving Sells, Shelburne ship repair to Mersey Seafoods. Mersey Seafoods is a local company they just bought a plant in Digby. They have a plant in Liverpool. They bought 75% of Fisherman's Market. So they're like a pretty big fishery. And I believe they're going to convert this repair plant into a fish processing plant. So that's the plan, I suppose. There's admittedly not much in here that provides much value. It is also written by the CBC. So it's very high level.
Yeah.
But basically, the word on the street of, you know, these small South Shore towns, and I do have to look at, you know, what was written because there's a lot, and I just want to get it as right as I can, given that I'm already correcting from last time.
And for clarity, like we're going to link obviously these articles in the show notes, but like as Dalton was saying, the CBC is again just kind of like gives an overview of kind of like the logistics of what happened.
Yeah.
Dalton now is going to get into kind of the emotions and like the politics behind what happened.
Yeah. So this is like what, you know, maybe what is affecting the people who have to live with how this came about, what drove it, and, you know, how they move forward kind of thing. But basically, to sum it up, the people have been made to feel that when Nova Scotia voted Conservative, there was a lot of pressure put on Irving specifically by the federal Liberals, and specifically her name is Joyce Murray, who I believe is in charge of fisheries and or ocean DFO. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that's her role within the federal government. And, you know, there's kind of a tit for tat here where it's like we sell war machines to Saudi Arabia. We buy Saudi Arabian oil. And so
it's the Canadian government.
By the Canadian government, cool. Yeah, that's who's importing that. And the Irvings are the ones processing that oil to sell. As we talked earlier in this episode, the pressures and like beat down Trudeau's put on Alberta, that aligns with this theory of buying Saudi oil and not buying oil from just across the country. So getting Irving to do that obviously put more money into Irving's pockets, which is, you know, I don't think anyone's too happy about that. In the same breath, along with the sale of the fish boat repair plant, was the cutting of glacier licenses, the cutting of the amount of traps lobster fishers are allowed to pull and put out. And basically allowing, how do I say this in a way where it is appropriate, but basically saying that fishing is ecologically destructive. It's not green. It doesn't align with Trudeau's vision of a green economy. And so therefore we need to do things that slowly detract from the worth of a town that relies on fishing. And so, we're going to get to a story in a little bit where Trudeau has put similar pressure on different sectors of the supply chain, where it's, there's more than just fish. There's other products that can be ecologically destructive if you look at it through a certain lens. And that's just kind of what he's done in this situation. And, it's taken money and lives and time out of local small businesses. And you're putting in the hands of the likes of Irving and Clearwater and, people who are going to be way more ecologically destructive than a small fisherman, maybe.
Right.
And that's just the reality of what's going on.
Right. So I'm just kind of put this all together. So the Nova Scotia election takes place. We vote in a Conservative government.
Yep.
Shortly after, what's perceived to be JT, Justin Trudeau, puts pressure on Irving to sell Mersey.
Sell to Mersey.
Sell to Mersey. And what did they sell to Mersey?
They sold them the boat repair plant.
Okay. So
and that plant was awarded over, I think, $30 million worth of contracts for repairs, which was money that was then, in that Shelburne economy.
Yeah.
And it's now taken away.
And so where's Mersey Foods based out of?
Liverpool. So on the South Shore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mersey Foods owning that is really not the biggest deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mersey Foods is a corporation. So having another corporation occupy space is disadvantageous to small fishers.
Right.
It makes it harder to get in. They have more licenses. They have bigger boats. They have the capital to, protect themselves. And so having that taken away, the ship plant, and then replaced by a corporation's fishery is not great for a small town.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to walk through this, the issue that we were running into is Irving owned the shipbuilding.
Yeah.
And then sold it to Mersey, who moved it to Liverpool.
No, that's just where they're based out of. They're going to continue to operate
in Shelburne.
They're going to convert it into a fish plant.
Okay, so they're moving it from being a shipbuilding into a fish plant.
Yeah.
That is then run. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and the issue with moving it from shipbuilding to a fishery is, what's the big issue that we're seeing?
Well, that's, I would say, out of everything I mentioned, the smallest issue. It's just that it came at the exact same time that they cut eel licenses to fishermen and lobster quota at the same time with no compensation for their losses. They were just told you can no longer do this, and really no explanation why.
Right.
Joyce Murray has explained how fishing is detrimental to our future, and how we should learn to find replacements for fish and look to alternatives, and has actively, for some reason, brought up almond milk a lot, I believe, in her speakings.
Right.
And like I mentioned last time, the reason why I looked into almond milk was because of that and how detrimental producing almond milk is to bees.
Right.
Which is just very hypocritical, I guess is the word you'd say, but strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue that we're running into here then is obviously the Liberal government is essentially is killing the fisheries in the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then, putting pressure on a sale that continues to kind of
make it harder for fishermen
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
For local fishermen to make a
take
living.
up space to operate. Yeah.
I understand now.
Yeah. So that is only part of it. It's not the biggest part, but that sale does affect the ability to fish.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll get into it, but the issue that we're seeing, at least in our country right now, is our current government is run by activists.
Yes.
They're not run by really any type of people having any real experience in governing or understanding of what ministry they're a part of.
Yeah.
They are just activists who will do whatever it takes to kind of see their goals come through, but,
Yep.
and they do not care who they hurt in the process. And that's what we're currently seeing. And so with that being said, we move to the Dutch farmers protest,
Yes.
which I think is a very important issue to talk on. Because let's be honest, if this was happening right here, right now, they would all be, all these amazing Dutch farmers would be called racist, misogynists, and all the
Yeah.
worst things in the book.
They would be compared 1-to-1 to a trucker convoy.
100%. And so this is what we're seeing. So this is from a website called Grid. And so this is where it says why farmers in the Netherlands are trying to shut the country down. So this is going to come, I believe, from more of a left-leaning perspective. And we'll see where things go here. So it says the anti-government convoy movement has arrived in the Netherlands.
The anti-government convoy movement. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't even read this article before I got here.
Anyway, so I'm curious what this means. And so has arrived in the Netherlands, sparked by an ongoing parliamentary debate about reducing nitrogen emissions from the agricultural sector to meet EU guidelines. And much like previous convoys in Canada and the US, it has gradually become a rallying cry for sundry other grievances.
You think this is a little left-leaning? A little.
Oh, here we keep it going. Let's keep it going. Dutch farmers are key to making their country largest exporter of meat in the EU, but proposed plans to lessen the volume of production or reduce levels of nitrogen pollution have many of them worried about their way of life is at risk. Recent protests have aimed to block highways, shut down a major airport, and stop distribution of food shipments into supermarkets. Tractors and other farm equipment have been used to create blockades and circumvent attempts at crowd control, with the Dutch government facing questions about an incident of police firing shots at protesters. Yeehaw. In recent days, the cause has been embraced by not only Dutch politician Geert Wilders and his far-right Party for Freedom, but also far-right movements around the globe, and the protests have swelled to include advocates of various anti-government causes, from anti-vaccination to viral conspiracy theories about secret plots to the EU to turn seized Dutch farmland into either automated authoritarian super cities or unlivable ghettos.
They just want to be able to fish. They just want to be able to farm.
That's all. They just want their life. They want their lives.
They want to be able to do what they have done for years,
Literally generations. So, I heard. I was reading things that, like, some of these farms go as far back as the 1300s.
Like, they are deep rooted in their communities, and in the same sentence, it's like anti-government, like just all these things. They just call them every name in the book.
Yeah,
and it's
far
like
right.
Yeah, far right activists, conspiracy theorists. Like, and if you read a non-biased article about what's happening, it explains how they just want to be able to farm without the control that the government has put on them. And it's not it's not even the farmers who are like against the pollution. They're not really doubting that. What they're saying is, why are you importing all of the produce when we could just do it here?
Yeah, and yeah, well, that's the thing, is like it's all in the name of reducing emissions.
Yeah.
And so what?
We got to sidetrack that at the end.
Okay. And the issue that we've been just inundated from, mainstream media, is how awful this Ukraine situation is. How awful, how Russia's just doing what they're doing.
Everything wrong in the world is because of Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, it's all because that's why
recession, travel, everything. It's Russia,
gas
Ukraine.
prices, everything.
Yep.
All of it. It's all Putin's fault. And so
if the war stopped tomorrow, I promise you would still be screwed over.
Yeah, and so the problem is, like, the issue is like the wheat is an issue.
Yes.
And this, that, the other.
Yeah.
And so
General Mills is like shook.
Yeah, and apparently. And but then you're going to turn around and tell your farmers to stop farming.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? I heard that we're going to be short on food.
So if someone's willing to produce it in your own country,
yeah,
you're going to say,
no,
that's not good for the environment.
Yeah,
we're going to actually prevent you from doing it.
Yeah. And so this is why these farmers are a little fired up.
Yeah, rightfully so.
So you got their livelihood on the line, and then as well as you could be instigating a possible famine.
It's like you want people to go hungry or something.
Yeah.
Like you want to create that scarcity. Why? So that way you can sell something when you like. What is the point of creating scarcity?
Yeah.
I mean, that creates a supply demand issue. Does the government want to be the ones who get the reward of that supply demand issue?
Probably. That's
Probably.
usually how it goes. You know, supply and demand, right? As supply shrinks, that's why prices go up.
Right.
This is where we're at. So it's
So we can supply in a recession. Da 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 da. People are like, no one can afford to live.
dude, I was the grocery store the other day, and just like a jar of peanut butter cost me $7.50. I couldn't believe it.
It's peanut butter.
Dude.
It's just peanuts ground up with butter.
Yeah. I was like, holy smokes, what's going on? And so if we go to the tweet there, like this is a video of like, so if we, the Dutch protesters are pouring manure on government offices, flooding streets, and becoming altogether ungovernable. This uprising is in response to the WEF-controlled government shutting down farms to save the planet, quote unquote. And you have to see this.
WEF meaning World Economic Forum controlled government.
Yeah. Yikes. Wow. Yikes.
He just took an axe to the window of a cop car.
Dude.
With the cop sitting in it.
See, I'll even say this.
That was more intense than the trucker convoy.
100%. Like that was more
That was
violent than trucker
God,
convoy.
they had things on fire. They were beating up police. That was crazy.
Dude, that was nuts.
And those streets were lined.
With people of all
So
kinds.
what is the other side? Where are the other people? That looked like the entire country.
Yeah.
It was like there were so many people there.
There's a lot of people. And I stand with them.
Me too.
Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for your rights. You know, this is crazy. You know, what our governments are doing to us are absolutely nuts. And the pandemic was just the start of it.
The pandemic was the test.
You know, yeah, it was the spear, the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And so like I knew as, you know, things started kind of getting relaxed more with restrictions. I've had my head on a swivel. I was like, what's coming? What's coming? And now all this stuff, you know, he's seeing what's going on in the Netherlands and the fight that people are with their government because of essentially creating scarcity and inducing famine.
Yeah.
And so we then we look back to, you know, we talked about Trudeau earlier on and the pressures he put on various sectors.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing the same thing here in Canada as they're doing in the Netherlands.
Almost like 1-to-1.
Yeah. So here's like an article just from the Toronto Star. So again, another left-leaning publication. And we're going to actually read kind of more of a left-leaning publication than more of like a publication that's spoken kind of from the perspective of the farmers in Canada. Yep. And so this is what it says. Farmers, and this for the Toronto Star, farmers can now guide government how to reduce fertilizer emissions. So they're going to be a part of the process of how we cut down emissions. So cutting emissions is the most discussed subject in recent times, and now the Canadian government has rolled out a new round of discussions to attain the national target to slash absolute greenhouse gas emissions associated with fertilizers by 30%. Fertilizers are responsible for nearly a third more greenhouse gas emissions than the global aviation industry. A report cited as Canada's counted among leading emitters. Nitrous oxide emissions, mainly those associated with synthetic nitrogen fertilizer use have also grown pointedly. Facing the startling realities about emissions in Canada, Agriculture and Agri-Food Minister Marie-Claude Bibeau launched a new round of consultations, beginning with the release of a discussion document. Not the discussion.
Well, yeah.
A crucial fragment of consultations with industry to help reach this goal, this tough but attainable goal. So this kind of goes in kind of like what this Bibeau has gone into to kind of talk to the farmers of Canada. And I think if you go down to the end of this article, it says, teamwork is said to be vital to find solutions to address the serious environmental challenges at hand.
Okay.
And Robert Romano, who works in the fertilizer industry, says he's happy to feel included and to share his experiences so we can work together to identify concrete and innovative steps to help meet the government's targets.
Incredible.
Nuts. We love to see it, eh? So if we go up to this article right here, This is from out of a publication called the Farmers Forum, which is out of Eastern Ontario. And so the title of this article is, Does Ottawa want a food shortage? Federal government wants to cut nitrogen fertilizer by 30%, but that will reduce food supply, farm group says. Interesting. So the federal government has proposed cutting farm nitrogen fertilizer usage 30% by 2030, but says reductions on farmland will be voluntary. That's raising eyebrows. Opposition agriculture critic MP John Barlow, who is a conservative from Foothills, doesn't believe it, predicting farmers won't have a choice but to comply in the end, which this government has shown over the years. That's what they'll do.
Yep.
I think when you, and this is John Barlow saying, I think when you have Stephen Guilbeault as the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, who has been very public over the years on his animosity towards traditional agriculture and the family farm model, I think he looks at agriculture as the opposition. The Alberta MP told Farmers Forum, and with that eco-activist mentality of his, he does not suspect that such things as fertilizer reduction would be a voluntary measure.
Absolutely.
And just to give you an idea who Guilbeault is, prior to his accession into the Trudeau cabinet, Guilbeault spent 20 years as one of Quebec's highest profile environmental protesters, a belligerent opponent of Canada's natural resources sector. He was arrested in 2001 after scaling Toronto's CN Tower to besmirch this country's fossil fuel industry on behalf of Greenpeace.
So it seems like the people that Ottawa wants to put in the position of, what's his position again? Minister of Environment and Climate Change.
Yeah.
And so then I spoke previously about the Minister of Fisheries, I believe is her title, but she's in a similar role. The people in those roles seem to have an utter disdain for the constituents that would fall into those ministries.
Yeah, and they specifically seem to have a serious issue with independent farmers,
he even said
independent
family
fisheries.
farm model.
Yeah.
So assume, family farm, family fishery, same thing. Local family-owned businesses.
Put it in the hands of corporations.
Give it to a corporation, you'll own nothing and be happy, you'll rent everything. This is what's coming.
100%. And so what we're seeing in Netherlands with them, the issue with this trying to essentially shut down farms. The reason why they're having such a huge pushback is because the government there has just outright said, stop farming.
Yeah.
Here, Trudeau's going in a little bit more.
You could stop if you want.
Yeah.
Until I've had enough.
Yeah. And then we're going to tell you, stop farming. So that's going to come here eventually too, as we try to meet these targets. If you think this is actually about climate change, then you are mistaken.
Yeah, thinking this is about climate change is thinking that a digital ID is to make your life easier. It's the same trick.
Yeah,
it's the same thing that we need to wake up from. I like that term now.
I like that term.
I'm onto that now.
He's woke.
yeah, I've woke up.
So it's just crazy. And so that's what I'm saying. As a country, we've talked about it on the show before. We actually talked about it with our friends who we talked on the Bitcoin episode.
Oh yeah.
Again, we didn't have it recorded, but we talked about we actually had for our members only. We had a whole clip talking about food shortages and things that are coming.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that's happening, and we're just trying to help you understand that it's on its way and it's time to start getting prepared. So that's why I've continued to buy extra cans of food while I'm at the store, and I bought different emergency food supplies
because it's better to have it and not need it.
Exactly,
but in an emergency, it's going to be so hard to get.
Especially when supply chains completely fracture.
Things can't get here.
No,
you're stuck with what's left.
Yeah, you're stuck with what you got.
Yeah,
and so that's why thinking about ways that you can farm for yourself. There's a lot of people who love the idea of trying to get out of the cities, because what happens when people go hungry, when people start getting angry, crime goes way up, and things get really spicy, right?
Yeah. And,
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong about all this. I hope that I'm being paranoid.
Me too. I don't want this to happen. I think people think we have this sick view where it's like we want it to happen so we can be right. Dog, I want to be wrong.
I really want to be wrong on this one. I so badly want to be wrong.
I don't want this controlled, forced upon me, scary life. I don't want that.
100%. I don't want... I would love to have a stash of food in my house that I never have to touch, and I can just give away to people.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to see happen.
Yeah.
I don't have to use it.
I'll give it to a food bank.
Exactly. It's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And but this is what's happening. You got, as we said, it's happening in the EU and it's happening here. Just trying to cut food cut supplies.
And the issue is, it's not that it's happening slow, so we're only talking about it now. The issue is it's happening rapidly. It's just hidden really well.
Yeah. Yeah, they get you focused on, Amber Heard and they focused on, I know it's important to some people, but it's like when it comes to what do you want to eat or do you want to do this? You tell me what's most important. That's why they get you focused on the abortion issue and fighting the other side on these things, because they're doing all this stuff on the side that really at the end of the day, food affects a lot more people. And if you're not eating, then things are going to get real bad real quick. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, always be curious of what the media focuses on.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, because it could be distraction. And it's like you said, not to say those things can't be important.
Yeah.
But if you're only hearing about it, when you dig deep, that is questionable.
Mm-hmm.
That's suspect. Why do you have to dig so hard to find something that actually is kind of scary?
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm looking forward to eating bugs. That's my favorite part.
I know
they got us going on the bugs now.
I'm
President's Choice got one. Yeah, it's I think it was the Cricket Bar or something like that.
No.
100%.
No.
Yeah, it's a bar that has like crickets in it.
Oh, you're not joking.
I'm being dead serious. Look this up. I am being dead serious. President's Choice. I'm pretty sure it's crickets.
Galen Weston will sell you anything if he can.
He really will. He's trying to get us used to it, man.
No way. President's Choice Bug Bar. They have cricket in many things.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cricket protein bar. That's it.
No, they have cricket powder.
Yeah, bro.
No.
Yeah, it's coming. You're not.
That's weird.
You're not going to eat meat anymore. You eat cricket stock.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Have a coffee with it.
Yeah. Oh, he's jumping. So
wow.
Yeah, we put that all. We're gonna put everything in the notes below. You read it on your own.
Yeah, this is a linked up episode, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be throwing everything in there. We usually don't put our notes in. We need to start doing it again. We did that a while back and we stopped doing it for whatever reason. But yeah, all that.
This was an article heavy one.
Yeah, so we need to put all that in there for the homies. But last but not, we'll end on a lighter note.
Yeah.
Is so Andrew Schulz.
Yes.
Dude, so his special released and it went really well.
Yeah.
And he was on Your Mom's House podcast.
A great podcast.
I love that podcast. And so he was talking about, the special and stuff. And then he ends up doing this. If you could go to timestamp 3230. And so Schulz is just talking. And that's fine. That's perfect. And you're going to love this. Here we go.
A joke, and it was like, I was like, countries that treat women the worst have the best food.
Yeah, that's a funny fucking bit, dude.
Okay, right? So it's like, and it's weird, like people that have saw the bit and it was just like Reddit made it fucking go.
Yeah.
And like everything else trickled down after that. I'm sure you guys experience this too. Like one thing goes viral. Like when you guys fucking made Andrew Tate a superstar. Remember that? Now that my whole fucking algorithm is Andrew Tate. Like, dude, I can't even open TikTok with my wife because every other video is like, bitches need to be quiet. Put their number on the forehead. Dude,
right?
It's your guys' fault.
Do you know
100% your guys'
that
fault.
when I did...
You had to spit out the fucking coffee. If you didn't spit out the coffee...
When I did my birthday shows in Chicago... They were at an arena, and on my birthday, they played a supercut of people wishing me happy birthday.
Please,
and it was like Mulaney, Chappelle, Burt, like all these people, and then Andrew Tate, and
they went
crazy. And also that week he was arrested for trafficking women.
Yeah, I know,
like,
dude.
And so you hear people go like, "Oh, whoops!" Yeah, charges were dropped. I want to say, Tate, I know those charges were dropped, and you didn't do anything wrong.
So I didn't know that.
I'm weak.
Oh my gosh,
I love that podcast.
Yeah, it's a great show. They're a great duo, and it was just funny, just kind of seeing like Andrew Collins was like, "You guys made him famous. It's your fault."
It's true. That was his first ever thing, right?
Yeah, they picked up one of those stupid little videos he had on YouTube.
Yeah,
and they thought it was just hilarious, and they had him on.
Someone just said the other day how incredible it is that Andrew Tate is as famous as he is and has no account.
No.
Do you know how?
Yeah, that's what I want to get into.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what we've been wondering. It's like, why is he showing up all over our social, especially TikTok? You like own TikTok with 0 count.
Yeah.
And so we were obviously we did some research. Obviously, we had some listeners actually tell us about it. And so what's what we were told is he sells a course that has 2 levels to it.
Yep.
One is how to make money, and the other is how to make money work for you. So the way this is kind of set up is that usually most people will just pick the one that how to make money.
Yeah.
And there's the one way to how to make money is they sell an affiliate course and how to do things. And so one of the ways that what they do is he tells people they can just start a social media page.
Yeah.
They clip his content.
Yeah.
And send people to his course, and they'll make a percentage of whoever signs up for the course.
Yes.
And so he set up this whole pyramid scheme in TikTok of people who are just like, oh, that's how I'm going to make money. I've gone through Hustlers University. I'm going to do this affiliate marketing thing, and I'm just going to like send people to sign up for Hustlers University. And that's how he's making his money. That's how he got so famous on TikTok.
Every account where you see an Andrew Tate video, go to it.
Yeah.
And look at the link in their bio and see where it takes you.
Exactly.
And what's crazier is there's like 15-year-olds making 10 G's. Like they're making money off this. Because their accounts go viral.
Right.
And so it's working for some people. But I mean, obviously the drip always comes to an end with everything. Mm-hmm. But man, he is kind of, listen, he's an idiot. I think he is kind of an idiot. And the things he say, I generally wildly disagree with. But man, he figured out TikTok.
He did.
He figured it out.
It was smart. I'm curious how much money he's raking in now.
I know.
Like, oh, like this thing is $50.
And I mean, I would say every like 3rd or 4th video, something Andrew Tate related.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And the people talking about him is just as much clout as seeing him in your.
Yeah, blame us. It's our fault.
It's the same thing. Yeah, like we're not helping. You know. But if he has good, he figured out better than us.
100%. I remember when he was. I remember we brought Tate and Jax on, and we just like showed him the video.
Yes.
And like,
oh my God, that was like in the beginning.
Yeah,
of his
it's like no one really knew him at the time. Only like 1 or 2 people in our comment section was like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is."
Yeah.
Like it was a wink of like, you know where you saw that.
Yeah.
And but like now it's like he just like blew up, and now he can't like he was on the BFFs podcast, Dave Portnoy, which was hilarious.
Oh, that was crazy. Dave just being an old man, like doesn't know how to interact with this person. It was so good though.
Yeah, it was so great. But Andrew Tate, the oldest flexor in the game now.
Yeah, oh my God. I need him and Lil Tate to go on a podcast.
Lil Tate and Big Tate.
That's how she's gonna come back.
That's how.
Lil
Yeah.
Tate.
Let's go. That'll be awesome. So, anything we want to finish off with, Ender, before we bounce?
I want to end on a good note, but the one thing I was going to say about the emissions thing, and it's not a bad note, it's just that there was a politician out of Saskatchewan who had to travel from what would have been a 4-hour car drive, but she took an $8,000 private jet plane.
Nice.
To get there.
Quality.
So that way she could be back to her riding in time.
Oh, yeah.
But then she returned the next day.
Cool.
On the same plane.
We love that you care so much about being there for the people.
Yeah. So just
means the world.
When your government's talking about emissions, they're flying on private planes.
Yeah. Because they're so important.
Yeah.
I get it. So whatever it is you're doing, whether it be staging a party at the Stampede.
Oh, or flying private planes.
Or we're talking to Andrew Tate.
True.
Shout out Andrew Tate. Whatever it is you're doing.
Wherever you are.
Happy 100th.
We love you.
We're out.
Peace.